Hello YouTube, my name is Monica Smith and I want to welcome you to my channel, Creative Moments. But before I get to part 2 of Battered to Beloved, I need you to look down below, and you guys should be used to this by now, and hit that red subscribe button. And if you would like to be notified each and every time I upload a video, I want you to click on that little bell. Okay, so let's jump right on into the story. But before I do, please make note, the hair is still kind of fuzzy, but I do have a hair appointment coming up this weekend, and hopefully she can get this mess under control. So, the last story I told you is how things ended with me and my first husband. I had 5 kids at this time, and I went home, I got a job. I worked 2 jobs when I first came home from the military, and I was able to get on Section 8, and I was finally free. But know that domestic violence and spouse abuse doesn't always have to be physical. It can be verbally. So just keep that in mind. So as I'm just getting my foot in the game, have 5 kids, I'm having the best time of my life, I run into my second daughter's father, who I used to date back in high school. He had just got out of the military, or he was on his way to getting out of the military. I don't know what it is about a man in a uniform that just pulls me in, but it does. So we spent a couple of months talking, rekindling, getting to know each other, and it sounded like a great idea that we hook back up. So he was stationed in Alaska, and when he got out of the military, he came back home to Louisville, Kentucky. He had a daughter in Alaska. He had just got out of a rocky relationship, and we were going to make things work. Now, as I said, the honeymoon is always the best part of any relationship. And it was. In the beginning of our relationship, it was family oriented. So we did things with the kids. We spent a lot of time with his family, a lot of time with my family. We were both working. We were doing well. And then we decided that we would get married. So we had this beautiful wedding. I had the white dress. He was dressed up. His family did all the cooking and catering for us. We were in a club. It was very beautiful. So I thought I was there. I thought I was happy. I thought this is it. But right after we got married, maybe about 3 months after we got married, he had started cheating. And I found out because his sister took me to the girl's house. And I knocked on the door. She answered the door. She had a towel around her, and I asked her, "Hey, is him? I'm not going to say his name. Is he here?" And she was nice. She's like, "Yeah, he's getting out of the shower. Who are you?" And I'm like, "I'm his new wife." And she's like, "You can't be, because he just came home from the military and we are going to have a family." I'm like, "You gotta be joking." I just came from a hard relationship, and now I'm in this new relationship and just newly married, and I'm going through this again. So he gets out the shower, he comes to the front door, and this time I was the abuser. I immediately started to fight him My feelings was hurt. I was embarrassed, and I was pissed the heck off. So I became the abuser, and not only was I fighting him, but I was fighting her. And I shouldn't have hit her because she didn't know who I was. She was just as much of a victim as I was. Matter of fact, I shouldn't have put my hands on him, but I was mad. Well, I get in my car, I go home, and I'm like, okay, I'm not going to go through this. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to put my kids through this. I refuse. I pack up the stuff and I put them out. I call him. We start talking again. This time, somebody said something that I've never heard before, and that was, I'm sorry. And I took that as face value. I'm like, okay, we all make mistakes. So he comes back home, and things were good for a little while. And I pop up pregnant with baby number 6. Still, I'm working, he's working, and we're okay. But then after baby number 6 comes baby number 7. And that's when things took a serious left. Again, he did not hit me physically, but he hurt me deeply. After I got pregnant with baby number 7, he started a whole new different him, a whole new different routine. He stopped bathing, he stopped brushing his teeth, he stopped washing his clothes, he stopped taking care of the kids, he started to drink all day, every day. We were arguing all the time because my friend, at this time I'm a CNA, my friend gets him a job at Coca-Cola. No, I'm sorry, it was RC Cola. My friend gets him a job at RC Cola, and he quits 2 days into it. And he had took me to work, and then he was supposed to go to work. He didn't come back that night to pick me up from work. And come to find out, he was out with his family drinking and having a good time. And he totally cleared our bank account on buying drinks for, I guess, the whole neighborhood. Who knows? So we got into it again. And this time, I left 3 scratches, I believe it was on his arm, from this fight. And I end up going to jail for spouse abuse. A woman who has been abused goes to jail for spouse abuse. I get out of jail, and again, trying to make things work with him. And it just got worse. But this time, it was more verbally than anything, and more mistreatment. So I started to pick up those names again. I was a bitch, I was a whore, I wasn't worth shit, wouldn't nobody want me, I was fat, I didn't have nothing to offer anybody. I had 7 kids, which 3 of my kids were his. So it just went all the way down. It was a constant routine of, I get paid and I would try to have to beat him to the bank to get the money to pay the bills, to buy the food, or whatever the case may be, because he would not work. I was supporting him, and he was totally okay with it. I bought his truck, I paid all the bills, I worked, and he was totally okay with it. There's a couple of times because we were a low-income family, we would get food stamps. There was times that he would take our food stamp card and he would fill up his mother's deep freezer, his grandmother's deep freezer, and come home, and here we have 7 kids, and he expected me to feed the family off of maybe $100, $150 for the month. So we played this game for a little while. All the jewelry that I had, he took it and he sold it. He was taking things out of the house. He turned into a whole new different beast. And all he wanted to do was drink. And felt like I was stuck. I was literally stuck in this marriage, and I didn't know how to get out. I didn't want to go back to jail because of the fighting. I didn't want my kids to see the fighting, but I couldn't work without someone watching my kids. I couldn't afford daycare. So, needless to say, life got extremely, extremely hard. And I dealt with this. I dealt with the constant name callings. I dealt with the constant battling him for money and begging him to get jobs, begging him to take a bath, begging him to brush his teeth, begging him to help me with the kids. I dealt with this for a couple of years until Prince Charming came into my life. And by then I was really damaged material. I was really, really, really beaten and worn down. And like I said, it's not because he had put his hands on me, because the times that we did get into physical altercations is because I let my temper get the better of me. And I was strike first. I was pulling out knives. I was hitting him with stuff, throwing things at him, because my rage from whatever happened to me with the first marriage carried over into the second marriage. And I kept saying to myself that I can do better, I can do better, I can do better. And I want better. And I was trying to make this person be better, which I wasn't making him be better. I was actually making him worse. Because the more I fought for him to be a better person, the more we fought. So, but again, it wasn't him hitting me, it was me hitting him, and me letting him take me to a point that I shouldn't have ever let any man take me to. I admit that I was wrong. I shouldn't have never put my hands on him, because I know how I felt as a woman being hit. And that's why I said that spouse abuse is not only men hitting women or men verbally and sexually abusing women. Women do it too. Even though I wasn't in a relationship with another woman and our fight would have been somewhat equal, I was in a relationship with a man, but I was putting my hands on him. I let him make me so mad that I would hit him. I would throw things at him. I would try to cut him. But I knew that if I didn't leave, I was going to end up in jail again. And that's someplace that I didn't want to go, that I didn't want to be taken away from my kids. So as time went on, as time passed, I started to realize that my father always said, you never let anyone steal your joy. So I had to not let him steal my joy. I had to find my joy. I had to find my happy space. I needed to get it back. So in order to get it back, I had to let him go. And that's exactly what I did. I walked away and I let him go. To hear the rest of this story, you'll have to wait till I put part 3 out. But until then, I want you all to have a blessed day.